So you're at work, you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and your mind is constantly whizzing. You need a break. Now you've heard about this whole mindfulness thing, and in fact, you've even tried it in the past before, but it's never stuck. You just can't do the whole sitting down thing, sitting still. Well, today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make coffee mindfully. Now, I bet you're asking yourself, how does coffee and mindfulness sit together? Well, I'm going to be teaching you what I call everyday mindfulness, which is mindfulness that fits into your daily routine. So basically, picking tasks such as cooking, eating, brushing your teeth, making coffee, and we're going to be doing videos on how to do those mindfully. This is super important because it allows you to structure that into your life rather than having to take lots of formal time out of the day, which I know can be very hard for people. And in doing so, it's going to help you feel less stressed, less overwhelmed, and help you have a clearer state of mind. So a little bit about me before we get started. I spent the last 14 years working in the tech industry across the UK and the US, working for startups as well as big companies such as Facebook as a product manager. Now, in the last few years of my career, I really suffered from burnout, anxiety and panic. And now I've learned lots of tools and techniques that have aided in my recovery and my rejuvenation. So these videos are going to be all about those. The really cool thing about the technique I'm about to teach you is that you can adapt it to the amount of time you have. So if you have longer to do it, great. But if you have shorter, as long as you follow the steps and the process, you can do that mindfully. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to begin to pay attention to is how our body feels, the sense of our body. And what I want you to do is just take a pause for a second before you start anything and begin to focus your energy and your attention onto your feet. Can you feel your feet? Can you feel the energy vibrating through your feet? And if easier, just do a few steps to notice the attention. And then when we're ready, we're gently going to turn our attention to our hands. Can you feel the weight driving through your body, through to your hands? You may sense them vibrating, the energy and the blood running through them. And again, move them around if it's easier to sense. And finally, we're now going to turn our attention to our upper body. Try to notice your shoulders and your back. Notice the energy caught in your shoulders. How do your shoulders feel? Try to turn your attention towards that. This is paying attention to our body. Next thing we're going to do is to begin to turn our attention to our thoughts and feelings. And what I want you to do is notice any thought that comes to your head, no matter what it is, accept it. And just stay with it. Don't try and get it to bat away. Just stay with it. And over time, you'll notice it become weaker and weaker and begin to disappear. Now those thoughts may come back again, and that's okay. It's natural. But if it does, just employ the same technique. Stay with it and don't act on it. Just pay attention. You may even notice a physiological reaction, such as a feeling in your chest at the same time, and that's okay. Now let's pay attention to our sense of touch. And what I want you to do is just rub your fingers together in the palms of your hands and begin to notice the textures, the friction. You may even notice a temperature change there, heating up. As we gather our coffee, feel the temperature of the coffee jar. as we gather our cup, just notice the weight in your hand of the cup. And as we gather our cafetiere, whatever you're using, again, just try and feel the shape of it. A really good instrument to use for this is your spoon. If you just run your fingers around the spoon, you'll be able to trace the curves and notice the difference. And then when we're ready, we're now going to turn our attention to what we can smell. So bringing that coffee closer and closer to your nose, noticing the gradient of smell as it goes stronger and stronger as you bring it towards your nose. Taking deep breaths and really see what you can smell. You may even notice your mouth salivate at the same time. Try and notice all the depths, the change of smell. You might notice it over time becoming harder to notice, and that's okay. Accept whatever's there. And when you're ready, just gently put it back down, and we will continue on to our next sense, which is going to be what we can hear. So let's take our kettles and plug them in. And before we even begin to put the kettle on, I want you to pay attention to what you can hear around you. Now drawing our attention back to where we are, putting our kettle on, hearing the click sound, and now noticing the rise of the boil. Keep your attention focused on that sound. And if at any point you have any thoughts or feelings going through your head, don't worry, that's natural. Just try and bring your attention back to the bubbling of the kettle. Now we're going to next begin to focus on what we can see. So let's grab our coffee cafetiere, or any element that you'd like to zoom in on, and begin to look a little bit deeper. Look inside. Can you notice all the different colours, all the different textures, the scratches, the light changes? Now I'm just going to prepare the coffee, ready for the boil. I'm gently now going to add the water to the cafetiere. And as I do so, just try to watch the steam. Watch the clouds rising. Watch the water turning round. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our cafetiere closer and closer so we can pay attention to all the different shapes and colours you can see. Keeping our attention fixed solely on that. And when we're ready, we're now going to turn our attention to our breath. The first thing I want you to do is to take your hand and place it on your stomach. And I want you to notice your hand expanding and contracting. Just notice your hand going up and down. And if it's easier, just try to follow your breath like a bubble. Not trying to change your rhythm of breath, but just following it like a bubble. In and out, in and out. Now let's bring our attention to our nose and mouth. Try to notice the air going in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might just notice it on the top of your tongue. Again, following the bubble with easier, in and out, at whatever your current pace of breath is. And finally, let's turn our attention to our chest, watching our chest rise and fall as we breathe, watching it rise, watching it fall, watching it rise, watching it fall. Now the final thing we're going to do is begin to actually taste our coffee and focus in on that taste. So once you have your coffee ready, pour it into the cup and gently bring it to your nose before taking a sip. And just begin to try and notice how your mouth reacts to it. Is it salivating? Is it doing anything else? And then when you're ready, take a sip. And hold that liquid in your mouth before you swallow. Try to notice the flavours on your tongue, or even the temperature. And then when you're ready, I want you to try and track it as it goes down your throat. And notice how it makes you feel as it goes down. Now we've come to the end of that meditation. I hope you're feeling less overwhelmed, calmer, and have a clearer state of mind. And if you don't, that's okay. Let's accept how we're feeling. Sometimes at the end of meditation we feel good, sometimes we don't. But doing the meditation practice is success in itself. Because mindfulness is essentially like a muscle. The more you practice, the more you nourish it, the more it grows, and you'll begin to see your focus improve over time. If you'd like this video, please like below, share and subscribe, and I'll have a lot more videos coming soon. See you then.